PM wants all unity government machinery to work hard. Additional 2,000 personnel to ensure smooth state elections. Good afternoon and Salam Malaysia Madani. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jessica Lee and you're watching Updates at Noon. Pakatan Harapan or PH Chairman Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim wants all the machinery of political parties under the unity government to work hard to ensure victory in the upcoming state elections next month. In this regard, he said Selangor should lead a new chapter in national politics with more cohesive and structured collaboration within PH and Barisan Nasional BN to win over voters. He said the victory in Selangor would not only be about the success of PH and BN, but rather a symbol of the unity government's efforts to raise Malaysia's dignity and respect in the region.
Saya nak beritahu, calon PH kita kerja sepenuh hati. Calon UMNO kita mesti menangkan dengan segala usaha dan daya. Kita akan buktikan kepada mereka yang cuba porak-perandakan perpaduan kita that this perpaduan government will stay as a solid, strong force in this country.
Speaking at the launch of the Selangor Madani Unity Machinery, Datuk Seri Anwar said that in the mission for victory in Selangor, every PH or BN supporter should put aside their differences and instead work as a team to achieve the common goal of uplifting the dignity of the people and the state. He said on behalf of PH, he would ensure that its machinery was mobilized to help all BN candidates win their respective contested seats. Meanwhile, the PH chairman also called on all PHBN party members to prove that the unity government remains strong through victory in Selangor as well as the 5 other states involved in the upcoming state elections.
Saya nak beritahu, ini Selangor, ini Negeri Sembilan, ini Pulau Pinang, Kedah pun sebenarnya kubu Pakatan Harapan dan Barisan Nasional dan lama kita akan kawan semula.
Now, meanwhile, the PH chairman also called on, I beg your pardon. Now, in the same development, BN chairman Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi expressed confidence that Selangor would be led by the PHBN government following the polls on the 12th of August. Now, the UMNO president said this was because Selangor under the PH administration led by Menteri Besar Datuk Seri Amiruddin Syari was fair to all people in the state.
Kita harus juga melihat bahawa Selangor di bawah kepimpinan Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Seri Amiruddin, walaupun seorang anak muda, walaupun jiwanya muda, tetapi pemikiran beliau adalah adil untuk semua orang Melayu, orang Cina, orang India, orang Ibadah Kadasan yang turut berada mencari rezeki di negeri Selangor.
Datuk Seri Zahid said this while expressing confidence that Pulau Pinang and Negeri Sembilan would also be led by the unity government. He also called on the people of Kelantan, Terengganu and Kedah to give the unity government a chance to govern the 3 states in order to overcome all issues related to the welfare of the people that the past-led governments had failed to address effectively. The BN chairman also respected the decision of MIC and MCA leaderships to remain with BN to support all the candidates from the unity government, even though the 2 parties were not contesting in the elections. A total of 2,000 additional personnel will be deployed in Selangor to help ensure the smooth running of the state elections. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Razaruddin Hussein said the state police have 14,000 personnel, and of that number, 10,000 will be deployed for the state polls.
So anggota-anggota ini akan ditempatkan sehari ataupun 2 hari sebelum hari mengundi dan kita akan serahkan kepada pihak Selangor lah untuk mengatur urus atur dia.
Tan Sri Razarudin said a total of 70 hotspots have been identified in Selangor, which will be monitored by personnel from the Criminal Investigation Department, or CID, and the Special Branch Division. At the same time, the IGP reminded all parties not to play up sensitive issues involving religion, royalty and race, or 3R, when campaigning. Now, he stressed that no one would be exempted from the police investigation if they touch on such sensitive issues. Now, the decision by Bank Negara Malaysia to maintain the overnight policy rate, or OPR, at 3% will not impact Malaysia's trade at all, as it is more affected by external factors. The Minister of Investment, Trade and Industry, Tengku Datuk Sri Zafrul Tunku Abdul Aziz, said foreign investors in Malaysia would not make decisions that influence their businesses by solely looking at the OPR movement.
Kalau pelabur tempatan, kalau pelabur asing tak ada sangat impaknya, tapi pelabur tempatan ini akan memudahkan apa yang mereka tengah lakukan sekarang lah, because the cost of financing will remain the same.
The minister said this after officiating Credit Guarantee Corporation Malaysia Berhad's 28th Financial Institutions or Development Financial Institutions and SME Awards 2022. He also said investors will look at many factors which are not limited to the financing aspects, such as infrastructure, ease of doing business, talent, and others. In our foreign segment, Dutch coalition government set to resign. The Prime Minister, Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim, will be meeting Tesla Chief Executive Officer Elon Musk next week to explore ways for the giant electric vehicle company to further investments in Malaysia.
Minggu depan, Elon Musk minta untuk berunding dengan saya untuk bincang kemungkinan dan komitmen beliau untuk menambah pelaburan di Malaysia. Bermula dengan tata kelola yang baik, dengan pengurusan ekonomi yang baik. Yang ketiga ialah permasalahan rakyat, pendidikan, ekonomi, perumahan. Dan ini harus kita berikan tumpuan.
Elaborating further, Datuk Sri Anwar said good governance and economic management would attract the interest and confidence of domestic and foreign investors to invest in the country, thus ensuring rapid economic growth. To recap, on the 1st of March, Investment, Trade and Industry Minister Tengku Datuk Sri Zafrul Abdul Aziz said his ministry had approved Tesla's application to import battery electric vehicles, or BEV, into Malaysia. The minister noted that Tesla would establish a head office in Malaysia, introduce its service centres and establish its supercharger network. Now, currently, the nearest Tesla official service centre is located in Singapore, and owners from the Green Tech leasing program have been sending their cars back to Hong Kong for major work. The Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte said his coalition government was resigning over insurmountable differences about measures to curb migration. Now, Rutte, 56, the Netherlands' longest-serving leader, chaired days of crisis talks between the four coalition parties, but they were unable to reach a deal. The Netherlands is expected to hold elections in November following the fall of the coalition, which is Rutte's fourth since 2010 and had only taken office in January 2022 after lengthy negotiations. The Europe's second longest-serving leader after Hungary's Viktor Orban had wanted to tighten curbs on reuniting families of asylum seekers following a scandal last year about overcrowded migration centres in the Netherlands. Local media say said Rutte, dubbed Teflon Mark after the non-stick pan coating for his political slipperiness, had taken a tough stance on migration to deflect a challenge from the right wing of his party. He reportedly demanded that the number of relatives of war refugees allowed into Netherlands be capped at 200 per month and threatened to topple the government if the measure did not pass. Now, 2 workers died and another remained missing after a fire broke out early yesterday morning at an offshore platform run by Mexican state oil company Pemex, just off the southern edge of the Gulf of Mexico. Now, Pemex Chief Executive Officer Octavio Romero flew to the platform to oversee the extinction works as nearby boats doused the facilities with hoses.
Uno de ellos, el módulo de enlace, por razones que estamos analizando, se incendió y afortunadamente la llegada de los barcos, bomberos, fue a tiempo.
According to company data, the platform operates in the company's Cantarell field, once was one of the world's most productive with around 170,000 barrels per day. The fire started at the Nohoch A platform and then spread to a compression platform. The causes of the blaze remain unknown. The company said oil production had been impacted in a substantial way due to the fire. FC forced to be content with draw against Kelantan United. That and more next in sport. Now, Para FC ended their 5-match losing streak in the Super League as they were held to a 1-1 draw against Kelantan United at Stadium Perak last night. The Boss Gauros did not take long to open up the scoreboard with a header by import player Sunday Afolabi in the 9th minute. The Nigerian midfielder seized the opportunity which presented itself during a moment of chaos in front of the Kelantan goalpost. The hosts defended well to hold on to their lead, but it all changed during the final minutes of the match. The visitors were given a penalty kick after Ismail Akinade was tackled by Kim Kang-hyun and fell in the penalty box. Now, the chance was fully capitalized on by Red Warriors captain Indra Putra Mahayudin in the 84th minute as he slotted in the ball to equalize. After that, it was too late for both teams to do anything further and the match ended in a draw. The result saw Perak at 11th place in the league standings with 10 points, while Kelantan United are right behind them with 7 points. Paris Saint-Germain have signed Uruguay international Manuel Ugarte from Sporting Lisbon for 60 million euros, equivalent to $65.32 million, with the defensive midfielder signing a 5-year contract. A prodigy who made his first team debut for hometown club CA Phoenix at the age of 15, Ugarte moved to Portugal to play for Famalicão before being snapped up by Sporting. The 22-year-old was called up for the World Cup in Qatar last year and has 8 caps for Uruguay. Chelsea, Tottenham and Liverpool had also been linked with a move for the player. Ugarte cited PSG's passionate fans as being one of the driving factors that led to his choice. Ugarte is PSG's 3rd new recruit in the close season after they signed centre-back Milan Skriniar and forward Marco Asensio on free transfers from Inter Milan and Real Madrid, respectively. The club also sacked manager Christophe Gaultier on Wednesday and replaced him with former Barcelona and Spain coach Luis Enrique. Let's check out tennis news. Stan Wawrinka said he stood no chance of beating Novak Djokovic in their Wimbledon 3rd-round clash yesterday. Now, the Swiss's prediction proved spot on as he was heavily outplayed on centre court. Walking out little more than 2 hours before Wimbledon's 11 p.m. curfew, seven-time champion Djokovic was a man in a hurry as he rattled through the opening 2 sets, and although he met with more resistance after that, he sealed a 6-3, 6-1, 7-6 win. Wawrinka has as much firepower as any player on tour, which he has used to defeat Djokovic at the Australian Open, Roland Garros and the US Open. Now, only Roger Federer has defeated the Serbian at all 4 majors. But Djokovic absorbed all of Wawrinka's aggression without appearing in difficulty and always seemed to be a step ahead in rallies. Djokovic's 31st consecutive match win at Wimbledon sent him into the last 16 of a Grand Slam for the 61st time, in which he will face Poland's 17th seed Hubert Hurkacz. Now, in another match, top seed Carlos Alcaraz produced an entertaining mixture of power hitting, fearsome returning and delicate drop shots to beat Francis Alexander Müller 6-4, 7-6, 6-3 and reached the 3rd round yesterday. He, however, made 41 unforced errors and did not have it all his way against an obstinate opponent who clearly enjoyed his first outing on the big stage and went toe-to-toe with the Spaniard for much of the match. The 26-year-old Müller, ranked 84th, has spent most of his professional career on the second-tier Challengers circuit. He came up with some delightful shots of his own, particularly on the backhand, but in the end, the smiling top seed's all-round game was just too strong for him. At key moments, United States Open champion Alcaraz produced backhands that swerved round the net post, lobs that puffed the baseline chalk, and unreturnable serves that reached close to 210 kilometers per hour. Meanwhile, in the women's draw, second seed and Australian Open champion Aryna Sabalenka fought back from set down and 5-4 down in the second to beat Varvara Gracheva 2-6, 7-5, 6-2, sealing victory with a searing ace to reach the 3rd round. Russia-born Gracheva, who recently became a French citizen, broke the Belarusian 3 times in the first set to take control. Things unraveled into a much tighter affair in the second set, with serve dominating until Sabalenka pounced in the 11th game, creating 3 breakpoints and capitalizing on the second. Now, Sabalenka broke early in the decider to take a 2-1 lead and underlined the momentum shift by repeating the feat to stretch her lead to 5-2. The 25-year-old sealed victory with an ace to set up a 3rd round clash against Russia's Anna Blinkova. Sabalenka reached the Wimbledon semi-finals in 2021 but was banned last year along with all Belarusian and Russian players due to the invasion of Ukraine. Now, Red Bull's Formula One leader Max Verstappen completed a British Grand Prix practice double at Silverstone with Ferrari close and Williams' Alex Albon looking surprisingly quick. Verstappen led teammate Sergio Perez 1-2 in the opening session and was again fastest in the late afternoon when last year's winner Carlos Sainz was second on the timesheets for the Ferrari. Albon was an eye-catching 3rd in both sessions for a team currently 9th out of 10, with American rookie teammate Logan Sargent also 5th in practice 2. Dutch double world champion Verstappen produced a best time of 1 minute 28.078 in practice 2 after lapping in 1 minute 28.6 in the first, while Sainz was just 0.022 seconds slower. Now, Perez, Verstappen's closest title rival, but a hefty 81 points behind after 9 races, was 0.448 seconds slower in session 1 and 0.264 seconds down in the later one when the Mexican finished 4th. Verstappen has won 7 races this season and is chasing a 6th in a row for the first time in his career. Now, changes are the only constant thing taking place across the globe towards the betterment of mankind or preservation of values. To dive further, let's take a look at the world around us. ailing Thai elephant landed back in his home country for medical treatment after a long journey from Sri Lanka that included a ride in a customized transport container and a long flight. The 30-year-old elephant Saksurin is one of 3 gifted by the Thai government to Sri Lanka in 2001, where he was transferred to a Buddhist temple in the south of the island. He paraded in religious pageants despite suffering from a limp, and animal rights activists had previously raised the alarm that the elephant was being mistreated. According to local media, upon landing in northern Chiang Mai province in Thailand after a 5-hour-long flight at low altitude and speed, water was sprayed onto the steel container carrying Saksurin to keep him cool. A vehicle then transported him to the Thai Elephant Conservation Center in Lampang province, where he will receive medical care. The Thai Natural Resources and Environment Minister Varavut Silpa Archa, meanwhile, said that it may take up to a year for Saksurin's injuries to heal properly. It is 3 a.m. and pitch black when rice farmer Tran Thilan heads into the waterlogged fields on the outskirts of Hanoi to begin planting, desperate to finish before the day's brutal heat arrives. The rice farmer said planting in the dark has become a savior for countless farmers in North and Central Vietnam during increasingly hot summers, as South and Southeast Asian nations battle record high temperatures this year. Elaborating further on the matter, Lan said she had managed a few days of daytime planting during a brief respite from the heat, but she switched to night work as another heat wave descended on northern Vietnam in early July, with forecasters predicting a long stretch where daily temperatures would exceed 37 degrees Celsius. The night planting has its advantages for the rice, which farmers say is sensitive to extremes in temperature. Now, day or night, farmers such as Lan can earn up to $40 a day, a large sum in a country where laborers in rural areas normally earn around $250 each month. With domestic films dominating the top spots, the Chinese movie market had a remarkable first half of 2023, with a box office revenue of over $3.6 billion, a year-on-year increase of 52.91%, according to the latest data released by China Film Administration. The top 3 films for the first half of 2023 were iconic director Zhang Yimou's suspense comedy Full River Red, the Chinese sci-fi blockbuster The Wandering Earth 2, and the currently screening suspense film Lost in the Stars, with box office earnings of about $630 million, $560 million, and $240 million, respectively. Now, 8 out of the top 10 films were domestic productions, accounting for 93.19% of the total box office revenue, according to the box office tracking and big data platform Lighthouse. In terms of audience demographics, female moviegoers have increased every year in the past 3 years and accounted for 56% of ticket buyers in the first half of 2023. Now, during the May Day holiday and the just concluded Dragon Boat Festival holiday, female accounted for more than 60% of ticket buyers, a milestone in the Chinese movie market. Wala Hamad has found a niche repairing mobile phones from her home, offering services to other women in the conservative Palestinian enclave of Gaza who fear allowing male technicians access to their photos and social media accounts. Hamad set up her business with the help of Amjad for Community Creativity and Development, a non-governmental organization that aims through workshops and other activities to empower unemployed female graduates and help them to find jobs. Economic opportunities in the blockaded Gaza Strip, where half the population is unemployed, are hard to come by, especially for women. But sometimes being a woman can prove an advantage.
فكرة إنه كتير ممتازة لأنه حيكون في عنا خصوصية بالنسبة للسيدات والفتيات في تصليح جوالاتهم. حتى الشباب ممكن يكون جوال جوزته أو مرته أو أخته إنه ممكن يجيب لي الجهاز إن أنا أصلح له إياه خوفاً على الخصوصية والصور، صور الأفراح، صور المناسبات، الشغلات اللي زي هيك.
Highlighting the challenge facing Gazan women, the NGO that helped Hamad said it had initially offered to train 10 women and was shocked when some 1,600 women applied for help. There were no frills or heels for Christian Dior as the label took over the Rodin Museum in Paris, putting on a fitting homage to Greek goddesses for the opening day of Haute Couture Week. Now, the show opened with a long white woolen dress and matching cape, while other designs used pleats to evoke classical-era statuettes. The clothes were full of clean, vertical lines in subtle shades of white, black, beige, gold and silver, with flat sandals that added to the atmosphere of antiquity. The decor, designed by Italian artist Marta Roberti, added to the mood with its animals, goddesses, and wild landscapes. Now, unlike most couture outfits, which are designed as one of bespoke pieces for ultra-special occasions, the new collection included separate elements that could be mixed and matched. The French label Celine had cancelled its show initially due to the unrest sparked by the police killing of a teenager last week. But with the violence ebbing around Paris over the weekend, the Fashion Federation said it did not expect disruptions to Couture Week, whose celebration of ultra-expensive, tailor-made dresses could not be further from the issues that have roiled the country in recent days. Julai's super moon rose over the ancient temple of Poseidon on Cape Sonion in Greece recently, illuminating its marble columns. Spectators took advantage of the warm summer night and came to view the spectacle at the 5th century BC temple, perched on a cliff top over the sea and built to honor the ancient mythological god some 70 kilometers from the Greek capital, Athens. This full moon orbits closer to the Earth than many other full moons this year, according to the Old Farmer's Almanac website, making it a super moon with a larger and brighter appearance. Now, Julai's moon is called the full buck moon, according to the almanac, as the antlers of male deers are fully growing during this period. Now, names were given to moons by Native American, Colonial American, and European sources and were derived from events in nature. Now, other names given to this moon by Native American groups include feather molting moon and salmon moon. The supermoon also illuminated the cities of Buenos Aires and Rio de Janeiro in Brazil and rose over Rio de la Plata River in Argentina's capital. And that concludes today's edition of Updates at Noon. In our top story, PM wants all unity government machinery to work hard. Do tune in to Malaysia Tonight, coming up later at 8:30 on TV1. Till then, I'm Jessica Lee. Malaysia Madani, tekad perpaduan penuhi harapan.